I'd like to say first, before this one gets rolling, a couple videos ago I did a comparison video between a few suppressors, and in that video I was shooting a 10-inch steel plate at 270 yards, and the rifle I was using was a 20-inch barreled 308 bolt action rifle, and I could not make a hit with that thing to save my life. If I can go from that level of incompetence to making hits at 1,000 yards with an AR10 chambered in 308, I'm very confident you can do it too. This is not rocket science. There's a little bit of science to it, I guess you could say, but this is very doable for just about anybody, as long as you know how to use your scope, select the right ammo, and have your rifle set up in a way that it's capable of making hits out at distance. So, little disclaimer here: don't be discouraged and don't be intimidated by shooting long range. It's doable for anybody. Hey there, this is Cran Eater here, and today we're going to start a little series on long range precision shooting with an AR platform rifle. I'm just going to try to make it as quick as I can. The reason I'm doing semi-automatic precision shooting is because I do not have a bolt gun set up for long range precision, nor can I afford to buy another rifle right now. I think there's a lot of people out there that are very much into the AR platform. I see the AR15 is probably a lot more popular than an AR10, probably just because of the cost factor. And you certainly can shoot long range with an AR15. You're just going to have to tinker with your equipment. But the first few videos, I'm going to go over rifle setup, equipment setup, and eventually some of the gear that you might need that could help you more effectively shoot long range. Spotting scopes and laser rangefinders come to mind. A Kestrel, I believe, is a must-have. If not, if you can't afford one, best thing you can probably get is a little wind meter, and get a ballistics app on your phone for 20 or 30 bucks. You can get her done with that. These two rifles are chambered in 5.56 and 308 respectively. The 5.56 rifle is a Mach 12, which is a redo, I guess, of the Mark 12. I didn't care to go clone correct whatsoever, but I did like the look of that rifle, and so I kind of built it and put my little spin on how I wanted it done. The rifle you're looking at right now is the LMT MWS. This one's chambered in 7.62, but they do say that 308 is safe to fire in this rifle, and that's what I've been shooting. I've just shot this rifle at 100 yards. With this barrel combo. This is a 16-inch barrel. I did have a 20-inch 7.62 barrel on here that has made hits at 1,000 yards, but there will be a rifle replacing this one here in the near future in 6.5 Creedmoor with a 20-inch barrel, and that's what I plan to use for the longer distance ranges. I just would like to maybe transfer some knowledge that I've learned so far to shooters who haven't even considered long range, or maybe you're thinking about it, or maybe you've made some purchases but you're not quite sure where to start and you don't want to go pay for a class. This will be catered to the very, very novice basic side of you out there. I'm not advanced at all. I've made hits at 1,000, but it's not as consistent as I'd like. And this year my goal is to just become more proficient and more consistent with my shooting. So I'm hoping that I can transfer some of that knowledge to you, get you started in the right direction. But I highly recommend you go take a long range precision shooting class. I know they're usually not cheap, probably anywhere from $300 to $700, $800 at some of the more prestigious instruction classes, but this might give you an idea of how to set your rifle up and kind of what to expect before you get there if you do plan to take one of those. I highly recommend Dallas sniper training if you're in the DFW area. The instructor's name is Remington, and he was a U.S. Army sniper. And, not trying to learn how to be an actual sniper and crawl around in the weeds, but he taught me plenty in a 6-hour session to give me an intro to long range. And I'm very grateful I took his class. So I guess stay tuned. Throughout this year, I'll be releasing videos on this playlist that is all about long-range precision shooting with a semi-auto rifle. Eventually, maybe in a year or two, I'll get into the bolt-action side of things. For now, I don't have a bolt-action rifle made for that, or the money to go out and build one or buy one, and don't necessarily want to. I'd like to just kind of learn with what I have instead of acquiring more rifles. I think getting out there and shooting with what you do have is more important than acquiring more and more and more gear. So stay tuned. If there's anything you'd really like me to touch on, leave a comment in the comments section. I'll try to get back to you. But look forward to making this and learning on the way while I teach the best that I can. Long range shooting is a load of fun. I think it can be very useful for a lot of situations, especially if you're hunting, long distance too. You need to be able to call wind. More than anything, it's just fun to hear steel ring at 1,000 yards from a round that you pulled the trigger on. It's a blast. One thing you can do without even making any big equipment purchases is practicing trigger control. A smooth, steady squeeze on the trigger is going to go miles for you when you start shooting long range. Something you can do right now or next time you go to the range without changing up anything on your rifle is trying to print the smallest, tightest group at 100 yards and really focus on your breathing and your trigger pull. You need to be able to shoot an inch or tighter group at 100 to really be able to get out there to those extended, 6, 7, 800 yard ranges. So give that a shot. If you can't go to the range very often, empty your rifle, make sure it's clear and safe, and just sit there at home, set up behind your rifle, and practice smooth, steady squeezes on your trigger. Get your trigger control under control. That day at the range also inspired me to go buy this book by Ryan Cleckner. It's called The Long Range Shooting Handbook. This is a $20 investment to learn some terminology and just a general understanding of long range shooting. Very basic, but at the same time complicated if you haven't ever shot long range or heard of these terms. I'd recommend you go pick one of these up. I got one on Amazon for I think $20, so I'll post a link to it in the comments section. So it sounds cliche, but hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video in the series is released. Plan to get the first one out in about a month or so, maybe less. So the first video is going to be going over equipment, terminology, and what you can do to prepare yourself or get your rifle ready for long range shooting. So hope to catch you on the next one. Have a good one.